Hi guys, welcome to youtube.com/AdamMcKola. This is another MUFC transfer talk, and we've got some big news. I say big news, it's kind of big. We kind of expected it. We were talking about it yesterday, but it's now been confirmed that Fred has completed his medical at Manchester United. Yes, Fred has completed his medical at Manchester United, and it's also been reported that Diogo Dalot is set to have his medical in the next 24 to 48 hours as well, which means by the end of this week, in the next 24 hours, we could have our first signing wrapped up. And by the end of this week, we could have two summer signings wrapped up, one coming in at right back or left back. Diogo Dalot can play in both positions, and one in central midfield in Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk. Rumoured fee of around £52 million, 47 million euros, whatever it is, I'm not too sure. But Fred completed his medical today. There were pictures and videos of him arriving at Carrington with his partner, because we knew he was in England. We already knew he was in England. He was with the Brazilian side that beat Croatia at Anfield. So he was in the Northwest. Easy journey over to Old Trafford, over to Carrington. And he made that journey there this morning. And Craig Norwood, the photographer at Manchester United, has confirmed that he has passed and completed his medicals, and he will be unveiled tomorrow as a Manchester United player, as a Red. Fred is Red. Diogo Dalot could be next, should be next, if he doesn't fail his medical. He's got a medical coming up as well. His fee is believed to be around 20 million euros, which is his release clause at FC Porto. Now, Diogo Dalot is a highly rated young fullback coming from Portugal. Played well at under 17, under 19 level for the Portuguese national team. Played in the first team for the first time for Porto this season, making 8 appearances in the first team, getting a league winners medal as well in the process. And now he is linked with a move to Manchester United and a medical in the next couple of days. We will speak more about those two potential signings, as well as answering your questions and getting your thoughts on those two potential signings. And the question is, if those two are number 1 and number 2, who will be number 3? But before we do get stuck into that, make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing to AdamMcKola TV. As you can see, we're on 51,666 at the moment. 666, all that stuff. You know what's going on. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. And of course, downloading the OneFootball app. The channel is sponsored by OneFootball. The link is in the description below. It's a free football app. Latest scores, latest news, football transfers, transfer rumours, World Cup stuff, all that good stuff. You can go and check it out. It's got some stats there as well for last season and that. Go and check it out. It's there. The link is below on Android and Apple. Close to 300 people watching. Under 50 likes. Let's sort that out. Get hitting the like button. But Ronald is talking about the Diogo Dalot move, and he says 20 million euros looks like a bargain for a promising talent. Do you prefer a quiet transfer like Dalot or a crazy one like Fred? Says Sidearm ZH. Not sure I've read that name properly, but it did move off my screen. I don't think either of these signings are those kind of signings that make you think, whoa, amazing signings. But I don't think Manchester United need those kind of signings. We need players to come in and do the job that will allow our more amazing players to do those amazing things, because at the moment our team is lacking a little bit of balance. You look at fullback, it's not good enough. Valencia and Young have played there the majority of the time. Not good enough for what we want going forward. Now, I think Valencia could play a fair few games next season, but on the left hand side we definitely need to improve as well. But bringing in someone that is predominantly a right back but can play at left back as well will mean that Manchester United have competition for Valencia already. We've also got Timothy Fosu-Mensah coming back. So if Dalot was to even be used as a left back, we could then obviously use Fosu-Mensah as a right back. Matteo Darmian is leaving. He's heading to Juventus. So with that news being said, it looks like Diogo Dalot has come in and taken his position in the squad. That medical being done in the next 48 hours, potentially. Reliably reported by Craig Norwood. Now, Craig Norwood only tweets when things are happening. So you stand up and you listen. It's basically official. Do you get me? Medical in the next 48 hours. And then you look at Fred. We don't need an out-of-this-world midfielder. We've got Paul Pogba that we want to go and flourish going forward. We need to allow him that platform to be able to do that. We've got Matic. We've got Obviously, the likes of Herrera at the club as well. We didn't see enough of that Matic-Herrera double in the midfield, which would have allowed Pogba to flourish. And Fred is another one of those midfielders that can provide the balance in between him. Hearing talk that Marouane Fellaini could be going to Arsenal, but that's not confirmed yet. Interesting one. Who would have thought that a team would lose their most successful manager and then their first signing under their new manager would be Fellaini? Who would have thought that, eh? Anyway, so Fred coming in, you think he's replacing Michael Carrick. Michael Carrick's already retired, so he's already out of the squad. So if we lose Fellaini as well, we'd probably need another number in midfield. Does that come from Fosu Mensah or Andreas Pereira, or does that come from a signing? Whatever is the case, with Fred, he provides us with that balance. I believe is a decent foil in between Pogba and Matic, Herrera and Pogba, whoever. I think he can do that role. Obviously, he's got an eye for a goal, eye for a pass as well, but he can do that busy work that we need to get done, picking up the ball, bringing it forward, releasing the ball as well at the right times. And if he can do that, Paul Pogba will flourish, and United will be a much, much better team for it. Fred is a box-to-box player, says Nicky. Lalu says, okay, that comment's moved. Has Fred really signed? Can't wait, says Aguirre. I don't know whether he's signed his contract yet, but his medical has been completed. That has been reported by Craig Norwood and therefore followed on by other people as well. Arsenal love our rejects, is bad, Brad. Adam heard about Martial changing number on Insta to a number 9. Then what will happen with Romelu Lukaku? Unless Rom's going to a number 10. Could be. I don't care where Fellaini goes as long as he leaves Manchester United, says says Evil Befy. Isaac says, look at the Premier League's latest Instagram post. Why am I looking at that? Let me see. Premier League's latest Instagram post. Paul and Fred the Red. So they've read the news too. That doesn't mean it's been confirmed, by the way, official. It just means their social media manager reads BBC's website. And we heard from Simon Stone, obviously, that we were going to get Fred and he was doing a medical. So I don't think they've done anything else from there. Wasn't Matic supposed to make Pogba flourish? I say it's a good point, to be fair. But when we did say that, we did say alongside Herrera, and we didn't get to see it enough. Funnily enough, we got to see it towards the tail end of the season, and I thought it worked pretty well. How many games did we get to see Pogba, Herrera and Matic in the same team? Not a lot. Fred's not done yet. No picture, no shots, no Jose. Not satisfied until 100%, says David Smith. Of course, mate, anything can happen. But what is definite is that he's completed his medical. There's no doubt in that. And what usually happens after that, you sign a contract, you get unveiled. That's probably the next step, and that we'll see happen tomorrow. You reckon Herrera's going to stay, says Riddles. I hope Ander Herrera stays. Big fan of Ander Herrera. Really like him as a Manchester United player. Not this season just gone, but the season before, he was one of our best players. This season, at the start of the season, he wasn't great. Second half of the season, he came into it a little bit more. I do like him. Young Lord says, where has this news come from? Apart from being reported on Sky Sports, on BBC, everywhere else, the man that broke it was Craig Norwood, who tweeted. Now, he's a photographer that follows around Manchester United, and he always gets things right. And what he's reported is that the medical's been complete for Fred, and Diogo Dalot is now undergoing his medical in the next 48 hours, and that should get wrapped up this week. You're looking at that, it fits in with the reliable guys like DiMarzio, who have been saying all along that Fred and Dalot were possibilities. You then come to who's going to be next after those guys. Who is going to be next after Dalot and Fred? Alderweireld, Alexandro. Alexandro isn't going to the World Cup, so I think if we were actually after those guys, and it's not just rumours, then I think we'd go for Alderweireld before Alexandro, knowing that Alexandro isn't going to the World Cup. But let me know what you guys think. I want Savic, says Nicky Collis. I think a lot of Manchester United fans want Savic. Herrera still has good potential, says Ronald, for Manchester United. Do you see Mata being sold, says Afik. I think Mata leaving probably depends on whether we get someone like Gareth Bale or whatnot. If we bring in someone to play on that right wing, where Matt has got a lot of his minutes, then I could see a possibility of him leaving. But of course, you never know. I don't think we're going to sign Gareth Bale, to be totally honest with you. Susan wants to see our Spanish trio remain in De Gea, Mata and Ander Herrera. Not bothered about the money we spend, break the bank for Bale, says Danny. A point that I was just discussing. They are editing the Fred video. That's the delay, says Ananthu. Is Fred really that much of an upgrade on Herrera, says Idris. I think he's a little bit different to Herrera. I think he's a bit more calm and calculated than Herrera, who is more energetic and busy. It's not a bad thing, neither of them. But that's my take on it from, I've only seen Fred about a handful of times. Haven't seen him enough. But that's my take on it. You guys that have seen Fred more, let me know in the comments below. Anthony's not happy with the signing of Fred. That's an interesting comment as well. Anthony not happy with the signing of Fred. We need a left back and a centre back, says Corey Tawia. I think those two are the two areas that we should target next after getting a right back and a centre midfielder signed up. When these deals are complete, target a centre half. If that's Toby Alderweireld, get that business done before the World Cup, and then we can look towards our left back. If we can get these two wrapped up this week, in the next couple of weeks, get another one or two wrapped up, then that leaves us in a very, very strong position going into the rest of the summer, because then we only have to rely on covering players that are going out and maybe that right winger that we want, if Jose or Ed Woodward or whoever wants to go out and get it. So it's good that we're working quick, and that was something that I was always envious of when Jose Mourinho was at Chelsea. He got his business done very, very quickly. Ahmed Arshad, thank you for your comment. Thank you for watching. Lorcan says, what other midfielders would you want? Obviously, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, everyone keeps talking about him. He's obviously a quality player. But DiMarzio reported at the time, and I think it's a fair point to make, that United don't really want to splash big money on Sergej Milinkovic-Savic if we are then going to, head out and buy... if we're going to get Fred, then you got Fred, Matic, Pogba. Like Milinkovic-Savic, if he's coming in for anyone, you look at it, who's he going to come in for? Obviously, a lot of you guys are going to say Fred, but Jose probably looks at it as Milinkovic-Savic could possibly be someone that would play instead of Pogba. And is it good enough to spend 100 million on a backup like that when we need other players as well? Probably not. But it may just be a ploy by United. He may be that second midfielder we want. But I can't see it, because if we get Fred, he's going to be expecting to start a lot of games. Matic expecting to start a lot of games. Pogba, the same. Herrera, potentially the same. Can you offer Sergej Milinkovic-Savic guaranteed first team football, which is what he's going to want? Who should be our next captain, says Ishan. Who's our captain at the minute? Valencia. Carrick, sorry, yeah. David De Gea. Is that a shout? Would you go with a goalkeeper as your captain? What do you think about Sane not making the German squad, says David? I think it's an absolute shocker, to be honest. I thought he would have been in there. Our next captain, like I just said, new gamer. I think it may be David De Gea. Imagine Pogba playing at full potential next season. Goals and assists everywhere, says Jogan. Guys, make sure you're keeping your comments coming in. Make sure you're keeping your thoughts on Fred, your thoughts on Diogo Dalot. An update for you guys that have tuned in and caught us late. It's pretty much confirmed everywhere now that Fred has completed his medical at Manchester United. The signing should be wrapped up in the next 24 hours. Diogo Dalot is next in for a medical at Manchester United. That should be in the next 24 to 48 hours as well. Diogo Dalot coming Manchester United's second summer signing potentially. 17.5 million the reported fee for Diogo Dalot, while the reported fee for Fred is around 50 million euros or 50 million pounds. I'm not too sure. Do we really need to argue over that? Pounds and euros are pretty much the same thing these days. Some of you guys are getting your comments in on Joachim Löw not picking Leroy Sané as well. I know he's a Manchester City player, but it was a surprising call by Joachim Löw, the man that loves to sniff his balls. Our window would be a success if we got rid of Young, Smalling and Jones, says Yash. I don't think we're going to get rid of all three of them. I think Young will stay, and I don't think there's a problem with Young staying. I know I say a lot, he shouldn't be our first choice left back, but I don't think there's an actual problem with Ashley Young staying at Manchester United. I think the problem comes when he's starting week in, week out. As a squad player, is okay. I wouldn't want to see this guy starting week in, week out. That is for sure. And it's looking like, you know, if we don't get a left back, that's a possibility. That is why I always talk about that. As for Jones and Smalling, I'd get rid of one of them at least. We're not going to buy two centre-halves this summer. If I was going to get rid of one of them, I'd get rid of Smalling. That would be my personal decision. But if Jose got rid of the other and kept one, it wouldn't surprise me either. I just think Jones is better than Smalling altogether. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Who would you let go, Jones or Smalling or both? We have got a couple of new subscribers as well in the last couple of minutes. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the video as well. Over 120 of you have done that. And make sure you're downloading that OneFootball app. The link is in the description below. Jones and Young are good squad players, says Caden. Any news on Verratti, says Alberto. I'm not reading into the Verratti news. I think it's absolute balls at this moment in time. If anything happens, then, and it's like coming from reliable people, then I'll bring it up. But at the moment, I'm not. Nadeem, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us. We are talking Fred completing his medical, Diogo Dalot being in next for a medical at Manchester United. That is the team news, and United could have the transfer news rather, and United could have their first two signings wrapped up of the summer this week before I go on holiday. Absolutely fantastic. Now I'm going on holiday on Friday for a week, but you know what? I'm going to bring my laptop and my camera just in case something pops off, but I'm not going to plan on doing any videos. I'm going to schedule some up before I go, some World Cup content and all that stuff. But I'm not going to plan on doing any transfer talk videos unless business goes down. Then I'll jump online and do that for you. But yeah, I'm going on holiday for a week. So apart from scheduled content, there'll only be live content if there's official news, or like DiMarzio says we're signing Bale or something stupid like that. But guys, for now, I will be back during the week. Make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing to AdamMcKola TV, keeping your comments coming in as well, whether you watch this live or you watch this back later on. I appreciate every single last one of you. You're absolute legends, all of you. Make sure you keep it liking, sharing. I've already said that. Download the OneFootball app, comment below. I'm running out of fumes now, but I appreciate everyone. Fred is almost red. The lot is probably next, and could Toby Alderweireld be our third signing? Should he be? Let us know in the comments below. For now, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.